And tonight, in our other news of the day segment, well, New York Governor Kathy Hochul's facing backlash after trying to take a dig at President Trump by saying she could not afford eggs for an Easter event. Well, despite tax returns showing that she and her husband made over $1 million a year last year. Take a look.
And heaven help anybody who's going to use real eggs on Easter. I have an Easter egg roll at the governor's residence, inviting kids from the neighborhood over, but I can't use. I have to use.
Yeah, don't use real eggs.
I can't afford them. Can't afford. I got to
use lumps of tofu or something, maybe.
All right, here with reaction, Project 21 Chairman Horace Cooper. Well, if she can't afford the eggs, she certainly can afford caviar, and maybe the kids would like to try caviar for the first time in their lives, because she's absolutely lying, because the price of eggs under Donald Trump have gone down.
You know, this is the funny thing about liberals. Whenever it comes to satisfying the needs of the community, the constituencies, or even our children, they're the first ones to cheap out. When it comes time for them to benefit themselves, they make sure they get first in line. If she thought the state of New York couldn't afford the eggs, she could have wrote a little check herself and made sure that she stood up for them. That's what you and I would do.
Well, I mean, also, Horace, you got to remember they spent, tens, if not hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in 3- and 4-star hotels for all of those illegal immigrants that the sanctuary city of New York took in, and the sanctuary state that gives illegals driver's licenses had. But the left is always generous with other people's money. Remember that. All right, shifting gears. According to a new report, Bernie Sanders was spotted flying on private jets for his Fight the Oligarchy tour, which featured AOC, who now, according to election guru Nate Silver, is the front-runner for the Democratic nomination in 2028. But not every Democrat's on board. James Carville, Crazy Carville, sounded off on progressives and AOC and the Bernie tour. Here's what he said. Take a
Let me make a point about Bernie and AOC. But Bernie ran for president twice. He's lost twice. AOC, in her kind, and this guy, David Hull, they want to run against other Democrats.
Yeah.
They don't run against Republicans. Well, when you beat a Republican, come back and see me, and I will be impressed.
Okay, she did beat a Republican to win her very important congressional seat in a very liberal district in Queens, New York. Horace?
I think that was a Democrat that she beat in the primary in a Democrat seat. But to follow up to your point, flying all over the country, apparently to fight the oligarchs, you got to live like the oligarchs. At least that's the left-wing model.
Oh, that is the left-wing model. I'll say this. I actually do believe that between Bernie handing the torch to AOC, Jasmine Crockett, they are the three leaders of the party. It would not shock me in the least if she was the Democratic nominee in 2028. What do you think?
Oh, it wouldn't shock me either. Who do they have? They refuse to do the necessary work to understand what the American people are interested in. Instead, they're committed to every single thing that our president is doing to restore and revitalize our country and to encourage and uplift the middle class. Their mission is let's oppose that. And there aren't that many people who endorse this opposition agenda, but apparently they're going to make up the Democrat Party. So if your plan is a wife-beating illegal immigrant who's a member of MS-13, that's going to be your #1 poster child. Well, guess what? AOC is waiting for you with open arms. I don't know that there's that many other Americans that are, though.
And then embracing, of course, those that support the terrorist organization Hamas or the Green New Deal, or championing the idea of men and women's sports, or transgenderism, DEIism, wokeism. That's all at the top of their list. All right, Joe Biden now making headlines again, and so are his trademark blunders. According to a report, he quietly visited Harvard yesterday, where reportedly he dropped an ice cream bar on the floor and mistakenly referred to Ukraine as Iraq. Well, it's just a little mistake, Horace. What's the big deal?
These meetings need to happen sometime between 10:30 and 1:30. The rest of the time is sleepy time for him, and you can't really expect any kind of amazing performance. I'm just glad that he got a little ice cream, though. Maybe he still thinks he's president.
You know, this is like the three big lies that Joe was so cognitively strong it was hard for his staff to keep up with him when we all knew the truth, or that inflation is transitory, or that the border is closed and the border is secure. And I predict we're going to have to deal with all the known terrorists, murderers, rapists, cartel members, gang members that they have allowed in, not only throughout the Trump years, but for many years thereafter. Do you agree? I believe that will be their legacy, and it's when, not if, we're going to get hit hard, and they'll have even more blood on their hands than they already have.
Well, it's been said that the left keep picking the 20 side of 80-20 issues, and what you just outlined are three big examples of that. When they decide to kick those to the curb and stand up for the American people, they're going to have a fighting chance. But for now, we all just need to get ready for AOC.
All right. Horace, we always love having you. Great to see you, my friend.